Thank you to John Birkin for the invitation to be here today. It is great to see so many familiar faces and friends who have hosted me in their homes, in their communities, in their organizations over so many years. It is an honor to be here as a part of the Israel Justice Organization, so appreciative of your advocacy and your voice, speaking out for the importance of the U.S.-Israel reliance due to our shared principles and shared history and importance of national security. Now, I am 2 weeks in from the publication of my first book, Poisoned Ivies, and each of you will be receiving one of those books. But I wanted to start off by asking, raise your hand if you saw that hearing, the hearing heard around the world with university presidents of Harvard, Penn, and MIT. I want to take you in the room of that hearing, which my book does. I've been in many, many high-profile hearings over the past 12 years in Congress. I've been in impeachment hearings, cabinet secretaries, tech CEOs. I've never been in a hearing quite like that one, where the moral bankruptcy and the moral rot was on full display for all to see. Not just those in the committee room, but truly all to see across America and all to see around the world. And I had spent a tremendous amount of time prior to the hearing meeting with students on these campuses who were suffering horrific anti-Semitic crimes, physical assaults, verbal harassment. They could not go to classes without hiring security. This was unrecognizable to me. I myself graduated from one of these institutions. I graduated 20 years ago from Harvard, was the first member of my immediate family to have that opportunity. It was unrecognizable to me what was happening at our most, quote, prestigious universities after Hamas's terrorist attack against Israel on October 7th in 2023. So I urged my colleague Virginia Fox that we needed to haul in those university presidents. Based upon my discussions with students, with parents, with whistleblowers, I spent a tremendous time researching and preparing questions. And in the introduction, they said we did not plan for other people to yield me their time. That happened organically because I had, again, put the work in to ask tough questions to hold them accountable. And the last question of the hearing, after 7 rounds of not getting direct answers, particularly from the president of my alma mater, Claudine Gay, the former president of Harvard, I thought, how can I ask this in the most straightforward, easy, simplest way possible? And that question was this: does calling for the genocide of Jews violate your university's code of conduct? I expected that they would say yes, and I was going to follow up and ask what disciplinary action has been taken because they weren't enforcing the rules. To my astonishment, one after the other, MIT, Penn, and Harvard said, it depends on the context. And the world heard. Within 1 week, that testimony became the most viewed testimony in the history of the United States Congress. 1 billion views worldwide. More than Watergate, more than impeachment, more than any other congressional hearing. Within 48 hours, the Penn president was forced out and fired. Within 2 months, the Harvard president was forced out and fired. Many university presidents preemptively resigned as we began to subpoena them and haul them into Congress. We then brought in the Columbia president, where, of course, we remember in New York City the pro-Hamas encampments. She was forced out in the next year. And the earthquake in higher education is still ongoing. That hearing did more than multiple decades of advocacy to push back on the moral rot and academic rot that was happening in our most elite institutions. And thank goodness that in 2024, we elected President Trump, who took action. You know, it's interesting to look back. You remember, the hearing was December 2023, so you had a year left of the Biden administration. The Biden administration did nothing on this topic. They did not launch investigations. There was no effort to hold these schools accountable. On day one, working with my office, President Trump signed numerous executive orders to strengthen civil rights protection for Jewish students on campus, to hold these universities accountable, and to freeze federal funding. These schools are not entitled to U.S. taxpayer funds if they are not standing up for the principles in which we believe in. And that continues to go on today. Multiple investigations from the Department of Education, multiple lawsuits from the Department of Justice. It set off a massive earthquake that's going to continue to be important in the next couple of decades. We didn't get here overnight. This was a backsliding of many, many years. We have to remain vigilant to save higher education because it's incapable of saving itself. So the book does a deep dive on Harvard, on Penn, on Columbia, on so many in their institutions. It also highlights schools that are getting it right, like the University of Florida, like Vanderbilt, like University of Austin, UTX, which was founded in 2021, and it puts forth policy solutions. This is just one important subject matter that I've been proud to lead on in Congress. This is on the Education Committee. Also very proud of my work on the House Armed Services and House Intelligence Committee, particularly at this very important time as we are protecting our national security to ensure Iran never achieves nuclear weapons capability. So thank you to my fellow New Yorkers, my fellow Americans, for the opportunity to speak with you today.
I just want to thank Elise for coming. I met you, I think, 12 years ago. It's crazy. All I know is what you have done for the Jewish people is unbelievable. My daughter is going to be in college, a freshman. You've made it safer for her, so thank you so much. Thank you. And all I know is you would have been an amazing ambassador, amazing governor. But in 37 years, you'll be younger than Donald Trump. So I think you have a long career ahead of you. You're doing amazing stuff, and we're blessed to have you. And now Dr. Frager, my friend Dr. Frager, who I met 10 years ago, incredible adventure with Dr. Frager, 5 trips to Israel. And we prayed for President Trump, by the way, in May of 24 at the wall. And I think our prayers, thank God, 3 times, unfortunately, they've tried to kill him, but God has watched over him, thank God.